Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is God's Love and I'm your host here at All the Talks. And if you're new today, I'm glad that you're here. We have been following up with Luigi, the suspect in the United Healthcare CEO shooting. Today we're gonna watch a video about him in court where he pleaded not guilty. So we're gonna watch it and then we're gonna talk about it. So let's get to it.
The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson has just pleaded not guilty in New York State Court. 26-year-old Luigi Mangione is facing an 11-count indictment, including first-degree murder in the furtherance of terrorism for allegedly shooting Thompson in the back outside a Manhattan hotel. If convicted, he faces life in prison without parole. He's also facing federal charges filed last week, possibly making him eligible for the death penalty. His lawyer calls those federal charges a pile-on and promises to, quote, move forward with a vigorous defense. And just moments ago, Mangione entered that plea to the state charges. Let's listen. He walked into that courtroom. You can see him in handcuffs, flanked by law enforcement as well as his attorneys. There were plenty of people in the courtroom as well, some supporters of him. And again, let's take a look at that moment that he entered his plea before the court.
Not guilty.
Your Honor, we have a copy of the indictment, notice of immigration consequences.
Bro, no homo, but you can't even take this face seriously. He doesn't even look like a freaking terrorist or a serial killer. Well, maybe a serial killer, because serial killers, they never look like serial killers, right? But he doesn't even look like a terrorist. He doesn't have the face of a terrorist.
As well as rap sheet. I think the court has it. We give the court an extra copy and one to counsel. The court wished that we heard.
I always wondered why they call it rap shit.
What is the situation with the federal authorities?
As we understand that we have primary jurisdiction and we have been informed by the U.S. Attorney that they intend on allowing us to try our case first. So with respect to whatever goes on there, as the party with primary jurisdiction, the trial and the sentencing will take place here prior to anything that takes place in the federal system.
So, what you just said, the answer is, it's fine if we take custody today.
That I'm not sure, because Your Honor signed a writ in which it says that we're going to return the defendant to federal custody. So I think that would be step two. I do think that logically, as the party with primary jurisdiction, the custody should be here. But I asked the court, in light of the court signing the writ, indicating that we would return him to federal custody, that be done at a later time.
Been through this before, and if you do that, they will really right out. So, don't give up. If you work it out with them, that we will be custody rather than us bringing them back, and proceeding.
We will make every effort to accomplish that, Your Honor.
But there should be some kind of change.
Yes.
There's a change. Should be something.
Absolutely.
All right, so any further?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to make a record, if that's okay with Your Honor. First, we request immediate, expedited discovery in this case. The people have had this case for about almost 3 weeks, and that's more than enough time to gather as much information as they can give.
Bro, look at him, bro. And they wonder why, like, a lot of women are fanning over him. I'm like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying?
To us, especially now that we have two proceedings that we have to answer to, one of them being death eligible. So we are requesting that we get immediate discovery of the New York City Police Department and FBI, and federal and state documents. And the second thing I want to make a record of, Your Honor, is I'm very concerned about my client's right to a fair trial in this case. He's being prejudiced by some statements that are being made by government officials. Like every other defendant, he's entitled to a presumption of innocence. But unfortunately, the way this has been handled so far, his rights are being violated. And as you know, Your Honor, there's a wealth of case law guaranteeing his right to a fair trial. But
exactly, because everybody is treating him, where everybody in that court, rather, is treating him like he's already guilty. I'm like, what happened to the whole system of, innocent until proven guilty? Despite whatever we see on the camera, it still has to go through the whole court process for them to actually find him guilty. But it's almost like they are treating him like he's already guilty. Even a statement made by the New York mayor pretty much assumed he was guilty. I'm like, bro, you need to just sit down and let the judiciary system, which is the court system, let it play out and let them do their thing. He has the right to a fair trial, so let him get that. And that is what his lawyer is talking about.
none of the safeguards have been put in place yet here. In fact, it's just the opposite of what's been happening. He's a young man, and he is being treated like a human ping pong ball between two warring jurisdictions here. These federal and state prosecutors are coordinating with one another, but at the expense of him. They have conflicting theories in their indictments, and they are literally treating him like he is like some sort of political fodder, like some sort of spectacle. He was on display for everyone to see in the biggest staged perp walk I've ever seen in my career.
I saw that too.
It was absolutely unnecessary. He's been cooperative with law enforcement. He'd been in custody for over a week. He waived extradition. He was cooperative at all accounts. There was no reason for the NYPD and everybody to have these big assault rifles that, frankly, I had no idea was in their arsenal. And to have all of the press there, the media there, it was like perfectly choreographed. And what was the New York City mayor doing at this press conference, Your Honor? That just made it utterly political. And as Your Honor knows, under Laura v. Charles.
And the New York City mayor, isn't he the one that is being investigated for some kind of bribe? Like, he needs to chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, sit this one out and let the law do what they are there for. And I did see the pep walk that she was referring to. You could have seen the way they were walking, behind this guy with crazy amount of guns. You know what I'm saying? It was too much manpower just for one person. And that is what she's talking about. Like, he's being treated like he's guilty. He's being treated like he's already been found guilty, which is not the case. Like, they still have to go through the processes and let these things work out. And that is what she's really talking about. And I do agree with her. She's making a lot of sense.
The Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit has held it to be clearly established that these staged perp walks to the media, unrelated to a legitimate law enforcement objective, is unconstitutional. And I submit there was zero law enforcement objective to do that sort of perp walk. There's absolutely no need for that whatsoever. And frankly, Your Honor, the mayor should know more than anyone of the presumption of innocence that he too is afforded when he dealing with his own issues. And frankly, I submit that he was just trying to detract from those issues by making a spectacle of Mr. Mangione. And there are consequences to this. He has a right to a fair trial, and I just want to put on the record statements that the mayor made publicly about my client. Nothing saying alleged, for example. And he said, I wanted to send a strong message with the police commissioner that we're leading from the front. I'm not going to just allow him to come into our city. I wanted to look him in the eye and state, you carried out this terrorist act in my city, the city of New York that I love. And he wanted to show symbolism. Your Honor, he's not a symbol. He's somebody who is afforded the right to a fair trial. He's innocent until proven guilty. And this mayor was talking to jurors, future potential jurors that elected him. Those are the people that elected him, that he is talking to and calling this man a terrorist. So, Your Honor, I just want to make a record of this and put everyone on notice that this has to stop. And my client is entitled to a fair fair trial and the presumption of innocence, and we're going to fight these charges, whether it's in the state or federal, to the fullest extent. Thank you, Your Honor.
We've been listening there to the attorney for Luigi Mangione, claiming he's being treated unfairly as he pleads not guilty to 11 counts in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. I want to bring in our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky. Aaron, you were in court as Mangione entered his plea. What was that like, and how are people reacting outside court?
He walked in chains, both around his waist and his ankles, Diane, and he did not say a word except to utter not guilty when asked how he pleaded to the 11-count state indictment. He appeared to keep his eyes forward, both coming and going, and did not appear to acknowledge the several rows of supporters, mainly young women.
Yeah, apparently they say he had over 20 fans or 20 supporters of women out there. It's just crazy what women are attracted to these days, you know. Also, look at him. He is dripped out. He is dripped out from head to toe. Look at his sweaters. Look at his pants and the shoes. I don't know the company that made that shoe or even those sweaters, and those pants. But if they are smart, they will capitalize on this and sell out. You know what I'm saying? They are going to sell out if they have a good marketing team, because that is what I would do if I owned a company that sold any of those. This right here, with the traction that is getting right now, this would be the perfect marketing opportunity.
Who came to see him in court, and outside here in court in front of me, Diane, there are also a few dozen supporters holding signs and chanting "Free Luigi" or chanting for health care. So they are not the only ones. The mayor is not the only one who's been talking about Luigi Mangione outside of court. A number of supporters are here with him as well, Diane.
And I want to bring in our legal contributor, Brian Buckmeyer, as well. Brian, we just heard Mangione's attorney saying that she believes her client's being treated unfairly. Now that he's pleaded not guilty to these state charges, what happens next with both the state case and the federal one?
Well, what we heard from the district attorney Manad is that they're going to have primary jurisdiction. I think that's to the benefit of Luigi Mangione, because the state rules about how discovery, that being the information by which they're using to prosecute him, are much more open and expedited in New York State than it is in the federal court. So I think they're going to try to use the New York discovery to their advantage for both cases. And then next, as we heard as well from the prosecutor and the defense, they're going to try to figure out who goes first, where Luigi Mangione is either going to be housed or in whose custody, and to what extent this trial will be held in the state.
All right, Brian Buckmeyer, Aaron Katursky, thank you both.
It's crazy. This has been a crazy year already, but I already have a feeling that even 2025 is going to be even crazier, because we have his case, which I'm pretty sure is going to most likely conclude in 2025. I'm not sure how it's going to play out yet, but I'm really curious to see how it does. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think he's going to be found guilty, or do you think he's going to be found not guilty? Because that is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. And then we also have the whole case of Diddy. We have man, I don't know. I want to say I'm ready to see what 2025 has in store for us, but at the same time I'm not, because 2024 was rough. And if 2025 is gonna be anything like 2024, I don't know, man. I don't know. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see back. And anyways, we're gonna talk about it the more that we know. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And before you leave, please do not forget to hit like, share, and subscribe button. One love, guys. Until next time.